Hey everybody, how are you today? I hope that you're having a beautiful, beautiful day wherever you are, and that I'm excited about our live today. I've been excited about them all because there's been so much gold shared in all of them. It's been truly, truly amazing, and I hope that you're getting lots out of them as well. So today's guest is Kira Westwick, and as soon as I see her come on here it is. Just saying, there she is. I'm just going to add Kira, and how while Kira is adding in and technology is working here, there she is.
Hi.
Hey, darling, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Don't you love all these clocks and time and zones?
Oh my God, it was total one moment. I know we're back. So I'm totally unprepared.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Did you guys change clocks this weekend? No. You don't change clocks, you don't up there. No, because America did, because we had a call this morning with the American, and it was all changed because of course they changed stuff. But I'm thinking, I don't think we've changed yet. So, but anyhow, it's all good. It's all good. So everybody's popping on here now. I can see all the names coming on. Hey everybody, lovely to see everyone. Renee and Pamela, Letitia. Who else have we got in here? Miranda, Pamela, Jenna, Esther, Ange, love it. Sophie, it's great to see everybody popping on here on this day. Hey, Alexi, how you going? Tam's on, awesome. Well, it's fantastic. Well, as we have been doing in each of these lives, I'm just getting starting it off with just asking each of our national marketing directors how long you've been in Juice Class and how long you've been a national marketing director, just as a little bit of a backstory in the first instance.
Sorry, ask that question again. I'm so sorry.
How long have you been in Juice Class?
It's been, how long have I been in Juice Class?
So 3-4 years?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because Adam, well, it's funny because I actually got started when Adam got started. So it'll be 4 years mid-year, but then I decided it wasn't for me for 6 months and then I got started again. So yeah just over 3 years.
I remember that. You were an accidental franchisee.
yeah. I was a very painful one.
Oh, we wouldn't say that. No. No, but actually, you know what? I actually do love your story because really you were accidental. You were not doing this thing. This was just not for you. In fact, as far as you were concerned, Adam was not doing this thing in the very, very beginning. And so as an introvert, and I get this because I am one too, you know, choosing to actually play in an extrovert's world, you know, can be really difficult. So you had to find your own way, and you did, and you really did become an accidental franchisee. I think you had a team before you realized what a team was. Would that be right?
Well, yeah, I had a team, and I just said to Adam, you need to deal with the team. I'm like, people were approaching me because I really do love helping people with health. And I just thought, you know what, if I could make a bit of pocket money, I love the product, I'll help some people with their health. And yeah, they just had such great results. They were wanting to join the business. And at that point I was like, okay, Adam, these people want to join the business. You need to work with them. So really my team in the first 6 months, Adam worked with. I really didn't want, I'd sit in on the calls initially, but that's all I wanted to really do.
Yeah, and I want to share that with people because, you know, there's some of you that may be kind of in that space where, okay, you may have made a decision or you might be accidental. You kind of, you know, you signed up, you got your products cheaper. That was kind of where you were, and things are starting to happen. It's kind of, you know, like, what am I going to do now? And that. The other thing that I know for you, Kira, like, you know, certainty was really high value and still is for you, and that as well. And so those early days, and I get that, I often have calls with people where they are concerned because, you know, they go from maybe the certainty of a job where you know that the pay packet, you turn up for work and the pay packet is there every week, to suddenly building a business like this where in the early days, honestly, for the effort you're putting in, let's be really honest here, you know, you're not always getting that return. You got to keep the long-term game there. So for you, I know there's been lots of lessons in that over the time. It seems like longer, but yeah, 4 years, there you go. And that, what are the ones that you want to share with the team today?
Yeah, you're so right. I had such an immense amount of uncertainty in my life in general. And so this being something that doesn't come with that stable wage initially, it was a big leap for me. And there were many ups and downs in that. But I think my number one lesson really was that I had to just decide. And I think when you truly decide to go for this, you create your own certainty. And you're not resting it on someone else's shoulders, or whether you have a good day or a bad day, or whether head office changed something in, you know, the pricing or the compensation plan, or whether a team member drops out. When you make a decision for yourself that I am going to be successful, all of those things don't matter so much anymore, and you're not constantly pulled into uncertainty every time something, you know, doesn't add up for you. I know for the first 6 months at least, probably more, probably 12 months in my business, I did a lot of blame, shame, and justify because of my uncertainty. And I didn't take responsibility and really step into that decision that I was going to do this no matter what. And I think we really can look for evidence to prove whatever we're focused on. So when I hadn't really made a decision that I wanted to go for this 100%, any little thing that happened within the team or within the company that, you know, I decided I didn't like in the moment, I would use that as evidence as to why this wouldn't work. And when I had that shift in deciding,
I remember some of those moments. Yes. I'm just saying.
Like, why isn't there a training for this? And why isn't there this? And yeah. And, you know, yeah. Anyway, and I'm sure everyone on this call has had a moment of that where they want to blame, you know, outside why things aren't working. But when I truly decided 100%, I'm going to do this, and I believed it with every cell of my being, and I had that real fire and desire, I stopped the blame, shame, and justify, because I had chosen success. I may not have had success in the moment that I chose, but I knew that I was going to create success. And so all of that noise died down, and I was just determined to focus on what works and what was going to get me to my end goal. And so, yeah, that's my number one, would definitely be decide. And honestly, you can't do this business with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And I think so many people come into this and they're going to see what happens, or even worse, Celine, wishing and hoping they're going to be successful. Wishing and hoping will not make you successful in anything. No. You have to have the intention and the desire that pulls you into action, where you choose success and you chase success down. Anyone can be successful. It's available for everyone, but it doesn't come for free. So you've got to stop wishing and hoping and actually get into action and start moving towards the goals that you create for yourself. It's just so important. And so when I shifted from, you know, even 99% of decision, that 1% of doubt will constantly pull you down in your business. You've got to 100% make the decision that you're all in no matter what. Also, certainty, we talk about this all the time. Certainty always wins. So if you're only 99% committed to this business, why would anyone ever want to join you? You know, quite often we see in this community, there's so many incredible people in this community doing so well. And the reason why they're doing so well is they're so attractive to people because of their certainty and their commitment. So if you're not, you know, out loud and proud about what this is, if you're not 100% committed, then don't expect people to want to commit their life to you, because this is a life decision. So certainty always wins. And when you get that clarity and certainty, you won't hear the no's. You won't hear the doubters and the haters. I actually had my first full-on neg ferret about 2 weeks ago on Instagram, which was really nasty. It was really nasty. And like 4 years ago, I would have bawled my eyes out. And it just made me laugh so much, because everything she said was so based in like lies and la la land. And it was just quite funny. And I was able to just block her and move on. But, you know, 4 years ago, I would have like, you know, thought about it for the next month. And oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this thing. So
it's actually, I mean, everything that you're saying there though is just so important. And again, you know, like there's been so much gold out of all of these moments that we've had over this past month with all the different leaders. But again, no matter what the gold is, if at first you don't decide that this is what you're actually going to do, like Kira's just said, everything else that you do, you'll be kind of 1 foot in one camp and one foot in the other. So we kind of have, you know, that foot will be in there. Yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm going to do it. But there'll still be that little foot out there that kind of is like, oh, well, I'll just lean this way or whatever. And so, you know, when you've not made the decision, you know, it's like with anything. As soon as you make the decision, decide, the power then will come from that. And then that's then where the certainty comes, because every time, you know, we have that quote, doubt will take you out of action, action will take you out of doubt, and that. And so once you're working towards it, moving into action, and the certainty will come from there as well. And I also love what you just said there too, is that, you know, that certainty, the wishing and hoping kind of just makes you wishy-washy. People don't want to follow that. They really don't, because if they don't see that you're committed, why do they want to kind of hitch their wagon to your horse, really? I mean, that's at the end of the day. You have got to be so certain, so passionate, and that will come. That will absolutely come, but that will come once you make the decision. So get rid of the wishy-washy and make today the day that you actually make the decision. Myself and Kira are here. We've given it to you. You know, make that decision. I think that's most important. All right, what's the next lesson?
Well, and I just want to add there too, it's freaking exhausting being in doubt all the time. Yeah. Like, it's exhausting. Yeah. Like, just make the decision and then you stop going back and forth. Like, just get in action and do it rather than waste time being so doubtful. And usually it's a reflection of other areas of your life. And I was really uncertain and doubtful in other areas of my life. So I feel like this business reflects a lot of how you show up in other areas. So if you are that person who's constantly 1 foot in and 1 foot out, which was me for many years, just, you know, like, don't let yourself off the hook anymore. Like, step up, make a decision, and, you know, you've got all of the potential in the world, so start using it. And I think that's what I did. I just decided enough was enough. I know the potential is in there. I know I'm going to have to do some digging. I know I'm going to have to work on some belief stuff, which is my next point. But the truth is, if you get in touch with your inner truth, every single one of you listening to this right now, if you honestly, I mean, there's all the BS stories that we love to latch onto, that we love to look for evidence of why we're crap and why we'll never be successful. But if you quieten that noise and you truly listen to your inner truth, you know that you could do and be anything if you really set your mind to it. So stop letting yourself off the hook. And stop staying in your comfort zone, attaching yourself to all these stories, and just make the decision that for once you're going to be successful. And that's what I did. I was just annoyed at myself for all the BS excuses all my life. And I was like, enough is enough. I'm going to do this. So number one, and that flows on to number two, which is belief.
And I just want to say there, honestly, 4 years ago, we wouldn't have had Kira like this, with this passion and this certain. I can tell you, because I was on the receiving end of some of those calls when she was not certain. And it's great to see the transition, but it was nearly like a light switch went off. Once she decided, okay, I'm going to do this, that's the difference between the before story and the after story.
And it really was immediate like that. It was a switch, and it didn't mean that everything was perfect and I never had uncertainty again. But what it meant was I had chosen success. So whenever something came up, I was looking for a way through it and how to become bigger and move closer to success rather than letting it set me back. So we all know there's going to be challenges. You make the decision, the same challenges are going to be there, but your mindset is different. And so you're finding a way through things. You're finding the right people to help you. And you're just continually moving closer towards your goals rather than taking 2 steps backwards every time something happens in business.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, number 2.
So belief, once I made the decision, I knew I had to go to work on my belief. And so we talk about there's self-belief, there's belief in the product, belief in the company, belief in the industry. The only one that was strong for me was belief in the product. So I didn't waste any time building that belief because it was already there, but I knew that the other 3 needed a lot of work because of the uncertainty that I had in my life, really. And so, you know, belief is not just going to show up for you. Like, you've got to go and make it happen. You've got to work on it every day. So stop sitting on your hands. If you're feeling uncertain, if you're feeling like you're lacking belief in any of those areas, stop laying down and, you know, and acting like you have no control over that. Get up and go to work and build it every single day. And so I got in action immediately on those things. You know, I do some personal development every day, and not personal development that derails my action. You know, I multitask it. I listen to personal development when I'm working out. You know, one way to gain more confidence and self-belief is to get up and work out, move your body so that you feel better every day. And so that's a crucial part of my success, is every day I move. And when I do that, I multitask with my personal development. I've now got like a waterproof speaker, so that, like, you know, in the morning showering, if I've got to blow dry my hair, if I'm doing my makeup, that's 30 minutes of personal development time. So now I get to multitask that time as well.
I love it. I love it. In the bathroom, I can just see you there, rocking it out, listen to your.
I don't have time. I don't have time to just sit there and look at the computer, right? You've got to find these moments where you can get it in. And it's great because my kids get to listen to it too. So I know that somewhere in their subconscious, this stuff is sinking in for the whole family, not just for me. So I love to develop myself personally. Relationships, parenting, obviously business is a huge element of that, and health. So I really like to have a variety depending on where I'm at in my life, because I really think as we grow as a person in all areas, our business will grow, because this is a relationship business. It's a real business. It's you know, you're dealing with parents and families and people with lack of belief. So the more that you can grow yourself in those areas and learn your own lessons, when those challenges come up for your team and you're in a position where you need to coach them through something, you have the verbiage, you have the lessons yourself. So personal development is so important. If you've got that lack of self-belief, you have to go to work on it. And the other big thing, Celine, is and this was me in the beginning, I was waiting for the confidence before I got into action. And unfortunately, that just is never, you could wait for 50 years and you're going to be worse off. You're going to be less confident. And that was my problem, is that for 8 years, I hadn't done anything outside my comfort zone. You know, I love being a mom, but I wasn't doing anything to stretch myself. And so my confidence was getting worse and worse. My voice was getting quieter and quieter. And so I realized I had to be willing to step outside my comfort zone to grow the belief in myself, because action creates confidence. And you said the quote before, you know, action will take you out of doubt. It'll take you out of doubt in the company, the industry, all of that, but it'll also take you out of doubt in yourself, because you will realize what you're capable of when you get into that action. You'll realize how awesome you are and how you do have all this potential, because when you set your sights on a goal and you make it happen, that's what you create confidence with. And I'm going to talk about that in my next one. But yeah, and I was saying before, you know, we're so good at directing crappy stories, whether it's on the company, the industry, or on ourselves. We get caught up in all of these stories. And, you know, what if you were just to start directing new stories? And really, I mean, you guys can see my vision board behind me, you know, the I am statements that we talk about. I said to myself over and over again every day, I am a boss babe. I am a boss babe. What would a boss babe do? And it just was so empowering for me to find that inner boss babe underneath all the mummy stories and the self-doubt. And so you've got to find, you know, what are those things that you can do to build the evidence of why you're awesome. You know, look through your life and look at all the times that you truly decided and set your sights on something. It may be something really small, like, you know, creating a beautiful cake for someone's birthday, or it might be some parenting decision, or, you know, some other job that you decided to go for. Look for all the evidence in your life where you have been awesome, where you have showed up, where you have rocked it at, no doubt, so many things, and start supporting some great evidence for some new stories.
Preach it, sister. Woohoo!
Exciting. Choose the beliefs that serve you. You know, we have a gorgeous couple in our team, Jess and Shane, and they are coaches. And they did a beautiful segment at our recent retreat, and they were speaking about beliefs and how they're just lies. Beliefs are just lies. They're just stories that we tell ourselves. So you can change them like this. So change the ones that aren't serving you. For me, what wasn't serving me was, I'm an introvert. I don't tell myself that anymore. I'm shy. I don't like talking to people I don't know. I'm just a mom. Like, what a shitty, like, frame for myself, for my life. I was never going to be successful if I continued telling myself those stories. So I had to rewrite them for myself and look for the evidence of why those weren't true, and just change those beliefs. What else?
Love it. Love it. And that, so while she's figuring out that next one, I would love each of you to really look at, especially those beliefs that you talked about, the self-belief, the belief in products, the belief in business, and the belief in the industry, in our company and the industry, and score yourself, okay? Like she said, I mean, you know, Kira, that was one of the things that attracted you. This product made sense to you. So that, like you say, you already had rock solid. You didn't need to know all about the science or anything like that. You probably did already know some of that anyhow. But you know what? That was a rock solid belief. But the other areas you went to work at, guys, you know what?
Especially the industry. Especially the industry one, and there's so many great industry links, and truthfully I hadn't been teachable, which is another lesson I'm sure many of the NMDs have spoken about it. We already had all these links, industry links, that people had told me to watch for 6 months, but I just didn't take the time to watch them. And so I had got industry belief literally overnight by watching Rise of the Entrepreneur, How to Build Your Network Marketing Business. Like I literally changed my belief within 24 hours. So stop living in pain of lack of belief and trying to share a product in an industry that you don't believe in, when you can change it overnight and get that 100% certainty.
Absolutely. I remember NMD Tamara Hunter, she actually took a week between Christmas and New Year. It's a few years back now, and listened to every podcast from MLM Nation. She was nearly able to quote them, because she knew that was where she needed to go and really work on. Like, she believed in the company, it was rock solid, and she believed in the product, rock solid, and that, but she had a real issue with the industry. So she took the time to go to school. And I think we touched on, and I can't remember what call it was yesterday, I touched on, I don't know whether it was the NMD Live or one of the other calls I did yesterday, but touched on the fact that, you know what, this is a 4-year, we talk about a 4-year career. I liken it to that 4-year apprenticeship, or if you were going to uni, you would go and study these things. So, you know, watch The Rise of the Entrepreneur. That's a fantastic film that you can actually, documentary that you can watch. So many books and audios. There is no excuse for not being able to find the information that is going to help you work on those beliefs. All right, next one, lady.
So moving on to the next one, I just want to share one quote that I really love to wrap that one up, that I got on my trip in India. But limited beliefs become obsessive when we are not awakened to our inner truth. So limited beliefs become obsessive. And really, this was me for those 8-10 years, probably more, probably since high school, if I'm honest, is that we really get stuck in these I statements in our head, and they become obsessive, how you're not enough, and all of these stories we constantly obsess over in our mind. You know, when I challenge everyone today to go about their day mindfully and catch yourself when one of those obsessive thoughts pop in your mind, whether it's around the business, whether it's around parenting, or just your own self-belief in general. Catch yourself out, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is this the truth? Because if you don't start catching yourself out in those stories, that spiral is just going to continue, and you're just going to continue creating the life that you think about, because, you know, our thoughts are so powerful, and if we're stuck in that mindset, we're not going to be able to move forward in our life. We're not going to see the results in our business. So catch yourself out with those BS stories so that you can create new, awesome, empowering stories so that you can move on and create the life of your dreams, whether it's in this business or elsewhere. So
awesome.
The next one is breaking it down, and this was crucial to me because, you know, you guys know Adam. He's a huge visionary. That's one of his greatest talents, is the vision that he has. And even to this day, and I shared this at our retreat the other week, the retreat was his idea, and he had this big vision for it. And I'm still the neg ferret sometimes, saying I don't think we can do that. So, you know, lucky we balance each other out a bit, because, you know, we do balance each other a bit, but he always has these big pictures in mind. So it was so overwhelming to hear his vision for this business in the beginning. He knew he was going to be NMD. He had zero doubt from the day he joined the business. He's like, yeah. I'm doing this. And for me, that literally made me want to hide under the table. And there was so many moments in my growth where Adam said, oh, you know, you'll be QNMD 12 Club in 2 months' time, like, because he tracks everything. And I would constantly yell at him, stop putting that pressure on me. Like, it just felt too much for my vision at the time. So I couldn't compare myself to him, and I couldn't see NMD on day one. And if I had have focused on that, I would have given up, because it just was way too much of a stretch for my belief and confidence and self-worth, even financially, and just in general, my self-worth at that time. So what I had to do, we did this business completely opposite, and we got to NMD in about the same time. So it didn't change the course of our journey that I broke it down and he saw the big picture. So for me, when I joined and I looked at the first level DVF, I knew I could do DVF. So if you're sitting here going, oh my God, it's so overwhelming, I can never see myself at NMD, just break it down to the goal that's in front of you. And
Yes.
not only just focus with tunnel vision on that, but know exactly what the map is. You know, I still get so many team messaging me and asking me, so what structure do I need for this position? And it's like, how many times on training do you want me to say, you know, have your fast track rocket sheet in front of you at all times? Like, it should be on your vision board in front of you, so that every day you're like, that's exactly what I need for that position. And that way, when you have your hour or 2 hours or whatever it is that you've designated to work on your business that day, it's completely focused on the outcome you want to achieve, rather than wasting time scrolling. You're inspired, because when I make goals, I commit to them 100%. I stopped letting myself off the hook on that one too, because before this business, I stopped setting goals. You know, we have so many goal setters around us with our friends, and they'd be like, you know, new year, you got to get together, spend the day as a family and set your goals. And in the end, I'm like, I'm not wasting a day, because I know I'm not going to show up for them. I know I'm going to set these fluffy goals, but we all know I'm not going to show up to achieve them. So this business, the first time I decided, you know what, if I set a goal, I'm 100% committed. I'm going to stop letting myself off the hook. I'm going to stop playing small, and I'm going to stop playing in my comfort zone. So when I, you know, set the goal of SDVF, it had to happen. And it had to happen in the time that I had designated for it. And so I would show up on purpose. I was inspired into action, rather than motivating myself every day. Yep. Oh, I've got to work on my business today. It actually became the opposite, where Adam was even like, can you like spend some time with me? Like, can you stop thinking about your business? For the first time in my life, I became so business focused and so passionate about something. So, you know, and whether you look at it as small goals and big goals, or goals and stretch goals, or I love your verbiage, Celine. So I always said goals and stretch goals, but I've stolen yours now, which is survive and thrive goals. You know, you've got to know, you know, what am I on track for, but what do I want to stretch and grow for? And so I do that every single month. And that's really what pushed me into momentum in my business, because I was always inspired to stretch a little bit more. And the stretching is what grows momentum in your business. Not going, oh, okay, I reached DVF, so I'm done for the month. I've achieved that goal. You know, stretch forward to SDVF as a stretch goal. And even if you hit somewhere in between, you're still leaps and bounds ahead of what you would have been if you only created those small goals for yourself. So break it down, but break it down in goals and stretch goals. And that will build momentum and give you more certainty and clarity over where you're going as well. I think so many people show up to this business with no real map or intention. And not only does it create a really slow progress, but it is uninspiring. It's so uninspiring.
And that's just the thing, though. I think, though, that people think to be inspired, they have to have the big goal. But I agree totally with you, because I was the same. I needed the smaller goals first. Mine was the fridge freezer, that was it. And for years after, when I looked at that fridge freezer, it reminded me to be so proud of myself that I did that. And that was it. Once I did that, then I had given myself permission to think bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they just kind of compounded on top of that. But at the very beginning, if somebody had said to me, like, the level that was equivalent to NMD at that point in time, even though outwardly I might have gone, oh yes, I'll be there, inwardly, it was a whole other conversation. Yeah. And so I would then be talking myself out and nearly self-sabotaging, because I just couldn't see that. I couldn't see how it was. I would get tied up with, what to do, rather than kind of knowing that it would all flow out. So that was why
it's interesting how, if I really look at it, my self-worth as well as my money worth grew with those steps. It gave me time to grow that, but it also gave me time to grow into the leader, because every step, because so many are like, oh my God, I don't know how to lead. I don't have leadership skills. You're not supposed to on day one. You know,
No.
when you get to SDVF, you'll have a little bit. And then when you get to SC, you know, you keep learning and growing. And I was the same as you, Celine. And that's one of my points is with those goals within the company, you want to have those rewards of what it means to you, because, you know, you want to feel those wins along the way. Otherwise, it just seems too far away and you do self-sabotage. But yeah, you know, for me, I just thought if I could just make $1,000, I was more focused on money because at that point we had a lot of uncertainty around finances. So it wasn't so much the structure goals. But when I hit $1,000, I was like, wow, like I just made $1,000. Maybe I could do 1,500. And so I literally just increased my value little by little. And that's another point, you know, and I see this in the team so much, people self-sabotaging their growth because they're not working on their money stories or their self-worth financially. And that was a big one for me because, you know, at certain points I couldn't see beyond 5,000. I couldn't see beyond 10,000 a month. I had to keep working on my self-worth so that my business continued growing. And Adam as well, you know, we have reached a bit of a ceiling with that, where we're back into that development to keep growing that worth along the way.
Yeah, absolute gold. And you know what? I would really encourage everybody to listen back over this again and really kind of, you know, look at it. At the beginning, we know it's about that decision and whatever like that, and the certainty will come. But if you really listen to them, what Kira was talking about afterwards, it's that whole believing, you know, believing in yourself, you know, looking at what that actually looks like, but then going to work on it, you know. And again, I really do, and it's kind of always made me passionate. I love breaking down whatever it is you're going for to the next promotion. The one that's in front of you is actually the most important one. Yes, we can look beyond. It's not about not dreaming big, but to be really honest, it is in steps, and it's in steps for a reason. And that because you do grow into each one as you go, and you'll have the challenges and the learns. What is it that Shani related to it last year at conference? I think she said there was a devil before each promotion kind of thing. There was an area of growth that she actually had to experience before she was able to take that next promotion by the rungs kind of thing. So, you know, absolutely amazing. And again, I mean, you know, it is about the daily activities that you are prepared to do to continue to grow. So the actions will give you that confidence and that, but you know, you've just come back from being on another personal development course in India. And that was that a week?
10 days.
10 days. There you go.
That's a big one.
So you know what? I know that some of you are watching saying, oh, you know, it's all right for Kira, you know, she's earning lots of money, she can go and do that. But she was doing it back when the checks weren't there. Okay, that's the thing. If I can ream off any of the leaders that are, you know, are growing and are developing and are earning, you know, the income that you may aspire to earn and that. But first they did the personal development as well. You know, you will constantly hear that it is about growing, because if you don't, and the money story is one I had to as well. I had all of the old programming, my good Irish Catholic, you know, rearing of, you know, money is the root of all evil and all of these kinds of things. Those stories would be going around in my head. And it took a lot of work to get that stuff out of the way to be able to actually grow into it and that. Yeah. So there's lots of hints and tips in here, guys. If you listen back over it and you think about, okay, the different areas of growth that Kira has related to and she's kind of, you know, recommended to you to do, ask yourself, where are you in all of that? Are you doing the work that will actually get you the rewards, or are you wishing and hoping, like what you said earlier on, that it's just all going to arrive? I'm going to put it out there, and it's just going to arrive in my thing. And that's not the way it works. God helps those who help themselves. Mm-hmm. Love it, Kira. Woo!
So yeah, I guess I just finished by saying, you know, you've got to train your mind for success. Like you said, Celine, your business will grow as you grow. So you've got to get into action and train your mind for success. You know, when and I'm still in that development, you know, that we always will be. But I love the quote, the millionaire and the beggar all have the same amount of time in the day. And it's what you do with that time. They have the same potential and the same amount of time. And so my job is to work out, what is the millionaire thinking every day? What are they doing every day? What are their habits every day? And, you know, Brendan Burchard is a great person to start listening to if you feel like, wow, that's, you know, where do I even start with that? You've got to set yourself up for success. Every day you've got to train your mind for success, and it never ends. And, you know, for some people, well, that's like, oh, that sounds like hard work. I'm tired just listening to that. Honestly, the results in your entire life, not just your business, will be phenomenal and worth, you know, 100-fold the amount of time that you put into it, who you grow into as a person, how that filters into your parenting. Parenting's my number one. You know, if I become better in that area, like every day, then I really feel like I've succeeded in life. And what else was I going to say on that? Oh, I lost it. But yeah, it's just so important. It's so incredibly rewarding. That's what I was going to say. One of the easiest ways to work on your money stories is to write a list of all the people it benefits if you are better off financially. You know, my family is such a big driver for me, and what I'm able to do for people in my family now is just the greatest reward ever. So write a list of who it benefits and have it in front of you, and do it for them if you're not capable of doing it for yourself yet.
I love that, because honestly, that often is where it is. It is about thinking about outside of yourself. You know, we get blessed to be able to, as we become more financially confident, and, you know, and that provision just flows into our lives, we get to bless so many people. You know, for our family, growth and contribution and adventure and travel are just they're the things that we live for. We've never really been into things. We are into all of those kinds of things, but this industry has allowed us to be able to do that contribution point. You know, you get to a space where you then have your family taken care of, so you can then actually bless externally. So if you're in this for the long game, okay, rather than the short game and thinking that it's going to be get rich quick and all the rest kind of thing, you know what, that's going to be short-term success, and it's going to be short-lived comfort. I can tell you that right now. I've seen it time and time again over my 30 years in this industry, and it doesn't work. But if you are in this for the long game, and you back yourself with that, and you're prepared to commit to the daily growth, I'm 53 this week, and believe you me, it is daily growth. It never ends. My dad always says, and he's 79, the day you stop learning is the day you die. You know, and you might not physically die, but you're just not growing. So keep going out there and looking at how can you grow personally on a daily basis, and look. And the other thing that I love, and my friends that I've grown up with in this industry, we all say the same. Because of the journey and the gift that this industry is to our personal development, we have absolutely impacted our children and their children's children for generations to come. Because I watch with all of our kids, our own personal 3 and the other kids that we've come across in our lives, and just be part of our direct selling and our Juice Plus family, honestly, the difference that the people that it attracts, the people that are around, by the fact that they learn as they're either listening in the car because you've got your personal development on, or whatever it might be, I listen to, you know, Zooms or trainings when I'm cooking tea, and did all the time they were growing up as well. And they were there in listening and asking questions too. That's another gift that actually sometimes we take for granted. You will impact the next generation. And as a parent, as a mom, that's awesome. It's so exciting, because unlike you, Kira, I've done everything that I've wanted to do because of my kids. I wanted to be able to do stuff and let them have experiences and grow up into adults that would be contributing back to society. And it's because of this industry that we've been able to do it. I'm forever grateful for that. So it's cool. Gosh, you preached it, sister. You really got in there. They heard from Mama Kira this morning. Woo! It's awesome. It's awesome to have you back, darling, after your trip. I can't wait to have a chat to you about all of that. But yeah, again, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your time to bless our whole Juice Plus family. Really, really appreciate it, darling.
So welcome. Thank you.
Thank you all. See you all. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.